Salam alaikum. I'm doing a screen record to go over the data files of your past race. We start with the swim. I had 25:27. You went 29:54, which is fine. I generally assume that you'll be swimming in the salted open water and with a wetsuit. So anyway, your top speeds were here at the beginning and then gradually dropped off. Here we're going to assume it was buoys, and then here at around the turnaround point. So it's important to see here how there is a quick drop in speed after your highest speed. So just really watch this. It's the same thing here. Each time you seem to accelerate, your deceleration is quite big. So really try and focus on making sure that you are not dropping the speed too much. Okay, now we see with the heart rate, it gradually went up. For Fahad, this is a controlled heart rate. So your peak 1 minute heart rate was there at the end, which is excellent, well paced. Your peak speed was at the beginning, of course. Then your peak cadence was there at the beginning as well. So this is all very normal. We're gonna go into the zones and then see how you did. The black line here is your 1 hour threshold. And then as you see, you were just under, a bit over, primarily under. So generally, this is very well executed and very well paced. Okay. Here we have the bike. I had 110, you had 102, which is great. The distance was not exact, but that's very normal. Just show you the RPM, the elevation, heart rate. Okay. Now at the start, your heart rate is quite high, and then it just stabilizes and stays in a range that is quite normal for you. So this is great. The terrain gradually went up and up and up. In the end, you maintain good watts, good heart rate, good cadence all around. So well done on that. Here we're going to see the 1 minute peak heart rate at the start. Very normal. Your peak 1 minute watts, that's not so good. Try and have it a bit more at the end. Here your peak 10 minutes is there. So this is great. Well done. Your peak 30 minutes right here. So you clearly negative split the effort of your race. So good work on that. Your highest speed was here for 1 minute. Your highest speed for 20 minutes was there. So it's great to see you at the highest speeds near the end. So I'm going to just show you your heart rate zones. So the black line is your threshold. You were just below it, which is excellent. You were primarily in specific intensity during the entire event, which is what we wanted. And then here we're going to show the zones. There you go. So the majority of the race you did just under your fast pace. So this is a lot of cycling at around your quick effort. What you want is to avoid some of these spikes here that are a little too high above your zones. And of course, the black line here is your FTP. So we can argue that for the majority of this, you were just under your FTP. Okay, so that's it for the bike. Onto the run. Here I had 44 minutes, you went 48, which is possibly, a bit of overpacing on the bike, and also that you were at the end of a training camp. So anyway, lastly, onto the run, we're gonna add the terrain and the heart rate. Okay, so you start here at around 169, 170 heartbeats per minute, and then you maintain it very consistently throughout. Your speed drops a little bit around the hills and then increases, of course, after. Your heart rate is very controlled, so that shows a lot of good discipline. The drops here are the turnarounds typically, or the aid stations. And what's important to note again is a little bit like the swim, a high speed was followed by a very low speed. Okay, so try to avoid this, having high speed and low speed right after one another. So we're just going to go into your heart rate zones. You were majoritarily in a specific intensity during this race, and then right at the end, you were getting into your anaerobic type of intensity. Okay, and then the red line here is your 1 hour threshold, which for you is quite high as you have a very elevated heart rate compared to most people, so it's a little tricky. Then here we'll show the speed zones. Your 1 hour speed is this black line. You were just under doing a lot of the race in your strong speed, going a little bit above too quick, above tempo here. Okay, so the black line, that's your tempo speed. All right, so we're just gonna go over the 1 minute. 1 minute heart rate is at the end. Good job, that's what we want. Your peak 1K is right here on the downhill in the middle, which is fine. Or your peak 1 minute, sorry, your peak 10 minutes is there in the middle. So good work, it's related to the downhill, of course. And then here your peak cadence is right there in the middle where you had your peak speed, okay? Your fastest 5Ks here at the start. So could have been paced a little better, but generally it was quite good. So anyway, without any further ado, I will wish you a good rest of your day and let me know if you have any questions regarding this analysis. Ciao.